Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Reading Treasures. My name is Zahra Muhiddin and I'm here to talk to you about a program that is designed to help your child become a more fluent reader in just 12 months. So let's get to it. In this webinar, you will learn what is fluency, you will learn some helpful how-to strategies, and of course some sanity-saving tips and tricks, so you will definitely not be losing your marbles. So who is this webinar for? This webinar is for parents who are suddenly homeschooling due to the pandemic. It is for parents who are committed to their child's learning and genuinely want to improve their child's reading levels. It's also for parents who are able to manage their time well and who want a bespoke plan of action. So, who is this not for? It is not for parents who are not willing to commit to the process. It is not for parents who make excuses, and it is not for parents who do not care about their child's reading levels. Moving on, my promise. So my promise to you is a proven method or strategy designed to teach your child how to read more fluently. I will be with you throughout your child's reading journey, and I will support and motivate you. So just a quick background information about me. My name is Zahra Abubakar Muhiddin. I am an educator and have been an educator since 2009, both in mainstream and special ed. I have also worked in the international education field and also in the UK, and I am the founder of the Reading Treasures with clients in the UK and the Middle East. I also have one really busy daughter. So, my passion, I have a passion for play-based learning. I believe that you can use play in absolutely almost every single activity that you do with your child. I also believe that play-based learning can take place with older children just as well as it can take place with younger children. So I also have a passion for setting up budget-friendly, sustainable reading environments. Okay, I myself am a single mum, and sometimes money just doesn't stretch that far as I want it to. So all of the strategies that you're going to learn about during this webinar are going to be things that you can do, and you do not need money. You do not need to fork out a ton of cash to implement these ideas into your house with your child. Okay, so moving on. I also have a passion for ditching the overwhelming anxieties that parents have with struggling readers, and I say struggling really lightly. And I also love reigniting the enthusiasm and the motivation for reading in young learners. I believe that reading is by far the most exciting and important skill that a child can have, and I believe that we can work together to improve children's motivation and excitement for reading with just a few simple strategies. And again, they're not going to cost you a penny. I should probably say a real. Sorry. So, my beliefs. I believe that good reading skills are the best protection against unemployment. I also believe that fluency directly affects comprehension, and I am here to simplify all teacher jargon. Okay, so you're not going to be hearing CVC, you're not going to be hearing this and that. I'm going to be explaining everything. So, I also believe that children who are able to read accurately, who are able to read quickly and read with expression, will have an easier time understanding what they have read, and thus comprehension skills will improve, because they won't be stuck trying to figure out the word and trying to sound it out. Is it what is it? What is this word? So I also believe that building fluency is like building a muscle. The more it takes a lot of practice to make that muscle, to get that muscle stronger and working faster. I believe that fluency improves comprehension directly by adding expression and appropriate phrasing. So I believe that children, when they are able to read fluently, they're able to react to what they're reading. Children will also love to hear how the fluency sounds like in real life, into a story that you are reading to your child. So moving on, my apologies. So the Reading Treasures, a program designed to support your child to improve on their reading levels without you losing your marbles. It is designed to help your child grow as a reader, to become a more stronger reader so that they are able to read for longer. But can you really do this when you don't have a degree in education? Can you really do this if you don't have a degree in education, if you don't know anything about phonics, and if you're really new to all of this? My answer to you is absolutely. You absolutely can do it. It is something that everyone is able to do, so long as you have the passion and the genuine want to improve your child's reading levels. You can do it. So it's really important to note, firstly, this webinar is not about a tutoring service, okay? I'm not talking to you about a tutoring service, and also it will not give you instant results. You just won't get instant results. You will get results eventually, but it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of hard work on your part as a parent. We'll also be building together a bespoke, an individualized or personalized plan to meet the needs of your child, specifically your child. Okay, so how can I help? So I'm going to walk you through some of these steps, and these are steps that have, these are strategies, that have helped parents. They have helped parents both online and in person, obviously pre-COVID. One really important thing to note is that you do not need a degree in education. You don't. I've had doctors, audiologists, stay-at-home mums, busy PhD students, people from around the world try to use these simple strategies, and they have worked. They have improved their child's reading level, and that's what we want to do with you. So, components of reading quickly. So, phonemic awareness, obviously being the first one, phonics, fluency, which is what we're going to be talking about in this webinar, vocabulary and comprehension strategies, which I believe directly affects the fluency rate. Now, so what is fluency? Fluency is being able to read at a reasonably accurate and appropriate rate with intonation. Now, I want you to just remember the word accurate and rate here. That leads to deep comprehension. Okay, so what we really want is we want children to be able to read at a reasonable rate, not too fast, not too slow. We want them to be able to read words accurately, obviously. We don't want them to be saying the wrong word when they are reading. We don't want them to say, I don't know, pig instead of big. We want them to be reading words accurately, because we believe that this will lead to deep comprehension, which is our end goal or our desire. So our goal or desire is to have children read the same way as they talk, using expression and changing their voices. So going high, going low, going high, going low. And we also want them to be changing their voice to reflect what is happening in the story. So if they are reading, oh no, the cat jumped over the fence, we don't want that. We want, oh no, the cat jumped over the fence. We want them to read as though they would talk. We want them to respond to punctuation marks, and they can only do that if they are able to read fluently. So, again, fluency helps students read smoothly, and it gives them a better understanding of what they are reading, the text that they are reading, whether it's a poem, whether it's a story, whatever it is, it gives them a better understanding of the text. So moving on, how can we assess fluency? Fluency is assessed using the number of words in a text read correctly per minute. So I want us to focus, remember how earlier I told you to focus on the word accuracy? So accuracy here is correctly, the number of words correctly read. So this is how we're going to assess or determine whether a child is reading fluently. How many words are they reading accurately? And then per minute will be the rate. So in 1 minute, are they only reading 4 to 5 words? In a minute, are they reading 20 to 30 words? This all determines their fluency. Moving on. So, a fluent reader. What does a fluent reader sound like? It's a fluent reader will be someone who is able to read like they speak. They are able to read accurately and at a conversational rate with intonation. What is intonation? Expression. Sorry, being able to read as in a tone whereby they would be talking. Moving on. So a non-fluent reader. A non-fluent reader will be someone who sounds choppy. Sorry. They'll be reading in a slow and robotic tone. They'll be uncertain about sight words or even other words, CVC words, words that we can blend or sound out. They'll also be reading word by word in a really slow way. And they would ignore punctuation marks, and they would make many errors, so their accuracy would not be there. So the words that they read will not be accurate. Moving on, my apologies. So a few simple strategies that we're going to be talking about in this webinar to help you improve your child's reading levels are: number 1, create excitement; number 2, mindset; 3, read aloud; 4, reread stories; and lastly, invest in a mentor. Let's move on. So, creating excitement. I understand completely that you are pressed for time. I understand that. I too am pressed for time. But reading is honestly, like I said, it's one of the biggest determinants of unemployment in later life. So how are we going to create excitement? The strategy of creating excitement among your children is the foundation. It is the foundation of creating stronger and longer readers. So how can we do that? We can start off by telling our child or asking our child, why do we need to learn to read? And just create a spider diagram and give them real life examples. Okay, don't tell them that they need to be able to be a stronger reader so that they can get a degree and go to university. No, a child is not going to understand that. A child is just not going to understand that. It's too far off in the future for them to be even thinking about things like that. What we need to be talking about are things like, if I don't know how to read, how can I follow a simple step-by-step cooking instruction? How would I know how to do that? How would I know how much sugar to put in if I can't read? How would I know what to do with the sugar once it's in the bowl? What do I do with it? So I've put the butter, I've put the sugar, but what do I do with it? Do I just stare at it? No, there's something that I need to do. And the instructions on the recipe will tell us. But if I don't know how to read it, how can I know what to do? You could also talk about directions. If I'm driving in a car and I need to go to, Manchester, how do I know which way to go? How would I know which way to go? So how can we create excitement? So that was just one simple example. By creating a spider diagram with your child so that they can see real life examples of why it's important to learn how to read, why we learn to read. I understand that it's really difficult, but we can also, perform a reader's theatre at home or anywhere. Why just at home? Do it outside in your garden. Do it at the park. You can do this. It's really, really simple. But I can't stress it enough, the importance of creating a hype, creating excitement, making reading really amazing to your child. I like to also hype up books for my child. So what I do is I would wrap up a book and I would allow her to open the book or unwrap it, on the morning of, for example, the new week, Monday. So on Monday morning at 9 o'clock, she would wake up and just open or unwrap the present or the book. And throughout the whole week, she's thinking, oh, which book is this? Which book is this? What book are we going to be reading next? And then I just allow her to do that, and she gets really, really excited. Again, very simple. You can simply wrap up the book, using newspaper. You can bag it up. It's really, really simple. You don't necessarily have to buy wrapping paper. You can create a space and a time specifically designed for reading, so that your child knows that I can go to my little corner in my room and I can just read. I can sit on my bed and I could just read in the corner. It doesn't have to be a fancy place where you create a nook and you buy this and you buy that. No, it could just be, this is our reading place. Let's go to our reading corner. And it could be anywhere around your house. Next, I would really encourage you to use reading as a reward. So what we used to do with my nephew was we used to say things like, well, when you finish this, then you'll be allowed to read. And he would get so excited and finish off that task, tidy up the toys that he put out, and he would really, really, really want to read the next book. So, moving on. Oh, sorry. Mindset. The second thing is mindset. I've heard too many people say, I will fail. I don't know where to start. I don't know anything about phonics. I don't have a degree or a background in education. I'm not like you. And I don't like reading. And my child does not like reading. Sorry. These are all things that I've heard far too much. And we are going to work on changing that. You will not fail if you believe that you will not fail. Look, the fact that you are even watching this webinar all the way until now, it means that you genuinely want to improve on your child's reading levels. It means that you want to know how to improve on your child's reading levels. Okay, this in itself shows success in your mindset. I don't know where to start. Well, I've already told you one thing, one strategy: create excitement, and you will start. Once you get the hang of it, you will just start. And remember, there's plenty more strategies. For people who say to me, I don't have a background in education, that's okay. That's okay. You have a background in something that you can teach your child. You have a skill that you can teach your child. And I'm sure that skill required you to be able to read to some level. Whether you are interested in IT, well, you need to be able to read codes. You need to be able to read numbers. You need to be able to read messages. If you are in, nursing, well, you need to be able to read all of those nursing books. So it honestly is about you changing your mindset and believing that you are here to help improve your child, and that's exactly what you're going to do. Help improve your child's reading levels, and that's exactly what you're going to be able to do. So, read aloud to your child. I honestly cannot stress this enough. I know that we are all pressed for time. We have very, very busy schedules. And I completely understand that the day is busy, and finding time for reading it just sounds like a mission. I can honestly, I can't express enough just how important reading aloud to your child every single day, just for 10 minutes. A child that is young can't even concentrate for that long, but reading to them for 10 minutes, it's really, really important. It allows a child to hear vocabulary. It allows you to also model fluent reading, which is what your child wants to, or where we want your child to be. It's also a really good time for you to have some bonding time with your baby, maybe with your child, Maybe you are really busy throughout the day and, you're just running here and there and you're just like, oh, I don't have time. I don't even have time for, sitting with my child, and mum guilt or dad guilt is a real thing. It really is. It's a real thing. But this 10 minutes of reading time with your child every single day can really strengthen the bond between the two of you. Next, if you are really busy, and you really don't have time, audiobooks are a great way of your child being able to hear fluent reading. I wouldn't recommend that you depend on them too much, but because again, it will not allow you to bond with your child as much. But it will allow your child to be able to hear or model or echo good fluent reading. So I've had a lot of parents tell me, Zahra, my accent is not very good. Sometimes I make mistakes and my child points it out. That's okay. In that case, then, you can use audiobooks. They're really, really good. Next, I'd also ask you to connect with family members and friends and ask them to read to your child. Have your child sit on their grandparents' lap or their aunt's lap and just read a quick book with them. Your child will then see that, wow, everyone around me is able to read. I also want to be able to read. It can have different impacts on children. Also, my child is too old. Your child is not too old. May I just remind you that we as adults also like to listen to audiobooks. And what is audiobooks if not just someone reading us a story? And we are adults. We are big. We are old, as we say. All children enjoy being read to, and like I said, even adults enjoy being read to. We like hearing or switching off or just imagining and just going into a different world, just traveling with the books. We also like to do that just as much as young children do. So your child is definitely not too old. Moving on, reread stories. Reading stories. Why? Why do I have to read The Gruffalo for the 100th time this week? Why? Why do I have to do that? I'll tell you why. Because it solidifies new words. It increases your child's vocabulary and it also teaches them expression. So why not have your child imitate you when you read? You could do this through echo reading. What is echo reading? I will tell you. Echo reading is simply you read one line and your child reads the same line. They are echoing what you are reading. They are copying what you are reading. Now, when you are reading like that, when you are practicing echo reading, what you are doing is showing again your child how to read fluently, how to read with expression, how to read with intonation. And then your child will be modeling that, will be copying that, will be echoing that. Another example of different types of reading is also chorus reading, where you and your child read together. Obviously, this book would have to be a familiar book, a book that you have read and reread and your child understands and knows what's happening next. This will be a good time for you to practice chorus reading. Again, building fluency, allowing your child to hear examples of intonation, good expression, response to punctuation. So, moving on. My apologies. Invest in a mentor. A mentor will help you implement new ideas. Okay, so maybe you have all of these ideas, but you're just like, oh, I don't know how to do it. Well, that's what a mentor is able to do. They're also going to be holding you accountable. What have you done this week? What have you done that week? What do we need to work on next? And thus creating greater productivity for you and your child. Remember, this is all about your child. How are you going to improve their reading levels? How are you going to improve their fluency skills and thus their comprehension skills? It's also a good source of information. A mentor is a really, really knowledgeable person, and they'll be there to help you and tell you what to and what not to do. They can see where you need improvement, and they can also offer encouragement because they are simply experienced, they are understanding, and they are also supportive. So they will take a step back when they feel like you're a bit overwhelmed, and they will help you, and they'll really guide you on how you can help your child. So I'd highly recommend someone investing in a mentor, a reading mentor, when starting out their journey of helping their child become a more fluent reader. So moving on. Just some LinkedIn recommendations for me. So I told you earlier that I have been an educator since 2009, both internationally and in the UK. I obtained my master's degree, at the University of Goldsmith in London. I have obtained my master's degree in special educational needs, which I find absolutely fascinating. But yeah, this is just a few recommendations that people have written about me and about their time whilst working with me. This one is a particularly interesting one. This mother is a mother of three now. She has two daughters and a boy, and I helped her improve her child's reading level when her daughter was just 4 years of age. And I kid you not, she is now reading chapter books. She's now 8. She's now reading chapter books, and she loves reading. Whenever you see her, she's just reading. She really enjoys reading, and this passion, her excitement or passion for reading, has gone on to her next child. So this was a particularly interesting parent or child who I worked with. So like I said, her siblings now love reading as well, just as much as she does, and her mother is just like, Zahra, I have a passion for buying books now. I have a passion for watching my children read. And when they're reading, I'm able to do other things around the house. So it was a real investment teaching my children how to read, because it means I can leave them with a book and I can get on with cooking, knowing that they are safe and happy. And isn't that what we all want for our children? For them to be safe and happy? Moving on. My apologies. This is a testimonial by Dr. Narain, who says that even though he was abroad for his studies, he's really happy with how his son has progressed. And again, he just simply used... Oops, my apologies. Let's move on. So, I did tell you guys... I'm really glad, firstly, that you have stayed on throughout this webinar. It means, again, that you genuinely want to improve your child's reading levels. So how can we do that? How can we improve your child's reading levels just through following these simple steps? But how can you invest in a mentor? How can I help you? Which is what I want to do today. So why call me? Because, firstly, it's free. Don't we all love a freebie? Secondly, we will be creating today with me a bespoke, individualized or personalized plan of action. The consultation or the call that we will have will be an assessment to find out what you need, what your child needs, and to just get a little background information so that I could just build a picture on what your day-to-day life looks like and how I can help, how I can come in. Thirdly, it's all tried and tested strategies that work. They have given results. The reading levels have improved. And lastly, I am highly in demand. I told you that earlier that I have clients in both the UK and the Middle East, which leaves me with very little time, and only 4 slots are available. So, what you could do is if you genuinely want to improve on your child's reading levels or know how to improve your child's reading levels, and you are very committed to the process or the progress of your child's reading levels, then contact me for an assessment or a call or a consultation by just booking using the link below. I'll put the link at the bottom of the page so that it's easier for you to access. And I'd just like to thank you for being an opener of doors for your child, and hope that you will jump onto the call and start with your child's journey, with your child's reading journey, improving their reading levels.